Hey lovely sexy hobby people, welcome to today's video, which is going to be Dungeons & Dragons issue 65. It looks like we get 2 maps maybe, looks like it could be 2. I don't think they're going to be scaled at 1 inch to 5 feet. They're probably going to be smaller, and they're probably going to be tied to the encounters, possibly in this issue and the issue in 66. But come and join me on the desk and we'll have a look. Hey, right, issue 65, Dungeons & Dragons Adventure. We get a couple of maps in this. Let's get in and get looking. So, first one, Astral Demiplane. So I think this is going to be to do with our encounter. And wow, okay, what's this? I have no idea. But it wouldn't surprise me if we've got to place these in the correct order around the tomb or around the seal. What does it say in the magazine? It says 65th issue of Dungeons & Dragons Adventure comes with a larger version of the map of the Astral Demiplane that players will navigate over the next couple of encounters, plus a handout of the puzzle they'll need to solve in next issue's encounter 66. Okay. Rolling in the aisles. Sometimes you've got to laugh even in the midst of a daring heist or a tussle with a hideous monster. Okay. Why do we play D&D? For most people, there's an instant answer centered on a single 3-letter word, because it's fun. Obviously, there's a whole spectrum of what that 3-letter word means to a person, but it's fair to say that fun usually gets people laughing. Adventures in the Forgotten Realms can be dramatic, action-packed, and full of spectacle. Absurdism, callbacks, pastiche. A relatively gentle way to introduce a bit of humour into a game is to riff on something that might be which might be familiar from popular culture. If your campaign involves dinosaurs, for example, you could reference Jurassic Park with a hunter who says clever girl, or an urban campaign might have Thieves Guild reminiscence of Peaky Blinders, complete with Brummie's accents. Just don't overdo it and push things too far out of your setting's reality. Our dungeon master is a bit curmudgeonly. We do make a lot of, as adventurers, we do tend to make a lot of pop culture references. And she keeps saying, you can't do that, you can't say that, you can't say that, because it's not, it's not the same universe. They would not have seen, like, for example, the Avengers or Batman or whatever, or Dungeons & Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves, My sarcastic answer to that was, they saw the stage play. And I must admit, that really does wind her up. But yeah, that's how we get round it. We saw the stage play in a tavern one night or whatever. But because theatre's still a thing, isn't it, in D&D? Okay, right, Madness Part 1. Madness Part 1. I feel that we're past Part 1 madness and the current events in the world, but we'll go with Part 1. Whether it's a result of poison spells, horrific sights, or long periods of isolation, madness is a real risk for intrepid adventurers in the Forgotten Realms. Where to face madness? You may choose to implement madness rules for your own campaign or encounters, especially ones that explore horror themes. Supernatural monsters can drive people mad, particularly mind-melting apparitions. or horrific fiends such as the demon lords from the Out of the Abyss book, as characters' minds can break in their very nightmarish presence. Even outside of horror-themed settings, characters might become lost for too long in the subterranean caverns of the Underdark, the disease-filled jungles of Chult, or the icy water wastes of Icewind Dale and Risk Madness. Additionally, the effects of certain high-level spells, especially those that are miscast or the misuse of powerful artifacts, can inadvertently cause madness. Yeah, well, at this moment in time, my view would be we get off planet and we just keep fucking finding we get off planet and we just keep finding planets to replenish our oxygen, you know, and we just head out of the universe. Let's go find ourselves another galaxy to fucking play in. See if we can find a galaxy from a long time ago, far, far away. Madness Part 2. Use the madness tables to determine what effect will afflict an adventurer, whether it's an urge to eat slime or vivid hallucinations. Oh my god. Right, short-term madness, indefinite madness, and long-term madness. Okay then. Let's just do a couple from each. So short-term madness. The character becomes incapacitated and spends the duration screaming, laughing and weeping. The character is stunned. Okay, short-term. Indefinite. Being drunk keeps me sane. I keep whatever I find. I try to become more like someone else I know, adopting the style of dress, mannerisms and name. The character feels compelled to repeat a specific activity over and over, such as washing hands. This is long-term madness now. The character regards something, usually the source of madness, with intense revulsion and has the frightened condition. The character must use its movement on its turns to get as far away as possible from the target, moving by the safest route. The character loses the ability to speak. Okay then. Haunted One. Bring some darkness to your character with this harrowing background. If you're the kind of player who likes to explore a character's dark side, or if you have a penchant for the gothic, then look no further than the Haunted One background. A Haunted One is somebody defined by trauma and tragedy, with a harrowing life-changing event in their past. Typically, though not always, of a supernatural nature. Role-playing a Haunted One. There are many approaches to a character with this background. You could present them as jittery and paranoid, expecting an attack at every turn and slow to trust their companions, or they could be a carpe diem type, so sure of their inevitable doom that they figure they must make the most of their short life while it lasts. Giants, undead giants. Barrowghast. Hill giants are known for their overwhelming appetites, but what happens when they are unable to satisfy their hunger? A hill giant that dies from starvation transforms into a Barrowghast. Such creatures prolong their process of decaying, carrying out an overpowering stench of death. Even standing too close to a Barrowghast risks being overwhelmed and sickened. And when a Barrowghast is wounded, their very blood poisons everyone caught in its spray. Nice. Just what you need. So, Cairnwright, Frostmourne, Cinder Hulk, Tempest Spirit, and Spectral Cloud. Chittines and Choldris. They look friendly. I bet they're just misunderstood. The Chittines were created to serve the cult of Lolth before the unexpected appearance of the Choldris caused the monstrosities to rebel. Chittine and Choldris colonies. Bearing in mind that the Chitines are servants of Lolth and have many arachnid qualities, it's not surprising that the creatures love spiders. Chitine colonies are full of shrines to Lolth, which attract spiders and other beings that follow the cruel goddess. Chitines even raise spiders as well as other arachnids, such as the ravenous lobster-like cave fisher, pictured right. Cool. That's I mean, I'd potentially say it's more like scorpion-like to me. If it was lobster-like, I think its claw arms would be much bigger and more powerful. Yeah, kind of more scorpion-like to me. Right, Encounter, Pandemonium Part 2. Encounter background. The characters navigated the catacombs of the Iron Tabernacle in search of its invader, contending with his undead minions, and finally came face to face with the man responsible for the siege, Kraesir the Undying. However, before they could confront him, he muttered an incantation and cast them into a demiplane prison. The demiplane floats amidst the astral plane, a sanctum once used to try to escape the reach of the demon lord Orcus. It is now filled with lethal traps and confused creatures from the Underdark. Now they must escape. Kraesir and Aldoran. While seeking an escape to this demi-plane, the characters will also have opportunity to learn about the villain of this adventure. His actions as the leader of the cult of Orcus have sent the characters on adventures ever since they first encountered Neverwinter, and his despair and nihilism will lead Gauntlgrim, Neverwinter, and perhaps all of Sword Coast to a grim end unless he is stopped. Okay then. So this encounter begins directly after the events of Encounter 64. When you're ready, read or paraphrase the following. The last thing you remember is a confrontation in the halls of the catacombs beneath the Iron Tabernacle. A shadow knight, a dwarven traitor, a tall man in dark robes crowned with a helmet of 2 curling ram's horns, who whispered vile words and clouded your vision. Now as you blink the dizziness away, 2 torches flare to life, lighting the space around you, and you find yourself in a different location entirely. You stand in the centre of a stone room. A long table with 2 chairs sits against the north wall. Doors stand closed to the north, east and west. It is eerily quiet, and you are alone. So is that one? So this looks like it's 2 stories. Right, climbing the chains. The character can climb the chains connecting 2 islands. Right, demi-plane features, astral atmosphere, magic sconces, timeless realm. Keyed locations. 1, the dining room. As you open the door, you realise you are no longer in the Underdark. You've got a wine cellar, which is D2, so D1, D2. The broken tower, D3, which is there. D4 is Kraesir's bed chamber. Okay, so that's handy. Might be able to find something out about your captor. D5 is the sitting room and D6 the lab. So there's D5, there's D6, D7 is the Chitine lair, and D8 is the exit chamber. Okay, so once you reach this room, this is where the rune, the seal in the floor is, which is this one. So this is that, not to scale, I might add. But yeah, cool. And there you have it. So that's your adventure. So we're going to get some Choldris in this and some Chitines. So there you go. Right. One map, one seal, and the magazine. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you in the next video. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.